Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Green here with No More News. Thank you all for joining me today, Monday, August 11th, 2025. So much to talk about. I hope you all had a good weekend and are having a happy Monday. Tons of stuff I want to talk about with you guys. We got Netanyahu announcing they're taking Gaza. ADL and Greenblatt working with Donald Trump. A clip about that. Greenblatt also kvetching about interracial marriage for Jews. Going to cover that as well. A bunch of Christian problem stuff. Tons of stuff. Going to be a huge show. It's only made possible thanks to you guys and your support. Putting the Power Chat link in the live chat over on Odyssey and the live chat over on Rumble, where we are streaming, as well as in the description below. I almost wasn't ready in time because the Power Chat had me reset my password and I needed other stuff, so I was going to start with this 20-minute intro, but I made it just in the nick of time. So let's start with Netanyahu and his announcement as reported on Fox News. And where is it? Oh my gosh, how many videos have been playing here in the background? Look at this. Apparently it's just been skipping videos. Come on. All right, well, we have another one of Netanyahu talking. We'll play that one.
Our goal is to free Gaza.
At the back.
Our goal is not to occupy Gaza. Our goal is to free Gaza, free it from Hamas terrorists. The war can end tomorrow if Gaza, or rather if Hamas lays down its arms and releases all the remaining hostages. Gaza will be demilitarized. Israel will have overriding security responsibility. A security zone will be established on Gaza's border with Israel to prevent future terrorist incursions. A civilian administration will be established in Gaza that will seek to live in peace with Israel. That's our plan for the day after Hamas, and let me summarize it. 5 principles for concluding the war. 1, Hamas disarmed. 2nd, all hostages freed. 3rd, Gaza demilitarized. 4th, Israel has overriding...
Demilitarized? Are we pretending Gaza has a military? You're going to take their bottle rocket shooters that have probably already been blown up by now, since they were all hiding underneath all the buildings you had to explode, destroy, and bomb with kids in them? Israeli overriding security control, like they didn't have that already. Non-Israeli peaceful civil administration.
Security control.
Non-Israeli. Notice he doesn't say Palestinian, he says non-Israeli. Meaning they're going to say, oh, it's a little bit of this Arab country and this, and Donald Trump will have his hotel and in the freedom zone that Trump promised.
And 5, non-Israeli peaceful civilian administration. By that I mean a civilian administration that doesn't educate its children for terror, doesn't pay terrorists, and doesn't launch terrorists.
Are we forcing Israel to stop teaching their kids the Torah, which advocates tewo on the world?
Attacks against Israel. That's what we want to see in Gaza. So it's neither Hamas nor the PA.
No Palestinian Authority allowed either. Interesting. It's not just Hamas, apparently. They're not even in Gaza. So he's saying, you're not taking Gaza. West Bank, Palestinian Authority, Abbas, you're not taking Gaza. It's going to be theirs. They consider it theirs. They consider the West Bank, Judea and Samaria theirs as well, of course. They'll probably end up pushing for an annexation in some we do have another country, though. What is the other country doing it? Australia also now. So that makes England, Canada, France, and now Australia, all of the Edom countries, besides America, recognizing a Palestinian state. We'll play that clip in a second.
Our plan. Given Hamas's refusal to lay down its arms, Israel has no choice but to finish the job and complete the defeat of Hamas. Now, we've done a great deal. We have about 70 to 75% of Gaza under Israeli control, military control. But we have 2 remaining strongholds, okay? These are Gaza City and the central camps in the Muasi. That's roughly, it's schematically presented here, but it's fairly accurate. Last Thursday, Israel's Security Cabinet, instructed the IDF to dismantle the 2 remaining Hamas strongholds in Gaza City and the central camps. Contrary to false claims, this is the best way to end the war and the best way to end it speedily.
Yeah, good point. After 2 years, these clowns are finally going to say something. Here's the Fox News interview with Netanyahu that I lost.
Coverage. This morning, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu set to meet with the security cabinet to discuss next steps in Gaza. But before he does that, he sat down with Bill Hemmer, and Bill is live in Jerusalem, where he just finished that exclusive interview and can give us a little bit of a taste of what was discussed. Bill?
Dana, hello to you. Good morning back there in New York. We sat down for about 25 minutes and we covered the range of topics that have been the news and the headlines over the past almost 2 years, including allegations about starvation and genocide, and most importantly for this Israeli government and the Israeli military, what are they going to do next? Dana, they have reached a critical point in this war. They right now
Names sent $5 on Rumble. Yo, Adam, it's been a while. Just got back from a first-time trip to the West Coast. Lake Tahoe is one of the most beautiful places I've seen here in good old Edom. Here's some shekels for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I had always heard about Lake Tahoe. I'd see people with like Lake Tahoe bumper stickers and stuff, and I finally went there just like maybe 2 years ago. It is a very beautiful area. Glad you had a nice trip and made it back okay, namesake. Appreciate you.
Of the Gaza Strip. It's a 26-mile path there, okay? 25%, a quarter of Gaza has yet to be conquered. This is the critical decision that Benjamin Netanyahu is now weighing. In our interview just moments ago, he gave us a strong indication at the moment as to where he is leading. Watch here.
I love how they're acting like it's such
interview.
a big decision. Oh, they've destroyed 75%, but the last 25, that they don't know. It's weighing such a big decision. Seems really drawn out.
You will go immediately into a meeting with your security cabinet. Will Israel take control of all of Gaza?
We intend to, in order to assure our security, remove Hamas there, enable the population to be free of Gaza, and to pass it to civilian governance. That is not Hamas and not anyone advocating the destruction of Israel. That's what we wanted.
Hey, Antichrist Productions, you're an idiot. I went to Palestine. Get it straight. It's funny how you kooks can never do anything but spout delusional schizo conspiracies about me. Never address any of the things I say. Just a bunch of nonsense cope.
To do. We want to liberate ourselves and liberate the people of Gaza from the awful terror of Hamas. And you were in the Gaza Strip today. You met Palestinians who are fighting Hamas because finally they see that they have a future. They can rid themselves of this awful tyranny that not only holds our hostages, but holds 2 million Palestinians in Gaza hostage. That's got to end.
Are you saying today that you will take control of the entire 26-mile Gaza Strip as it was 20 years ago to this month in 2005?
Well, we don't want to keep it. We want to have a security perimeter. We don't want to govern it. We don't want to be there as a governing body. We want to hand it over to Arab forces that will govern it properly without threatening us and giving Gazans a good life. That's not possible with Hamas. The only way that you're going to have...
So it's going to be, they're going to allow their Zionist-friendly buddies to officially, on paper, be in charge of Gaza. So it doesn't look like they're just taking it all. I guess that would look too bad. Eventually, it'll get all handed over to Israel, of course.
Have a different future is to get rid of this neo-Nazi army. The Hamas are monsters. Look at what they're doing to our people. Look at what they're doing to the way they massacred, raped, beheaded our people, our men and women, burned our babies. And
they're still doing the burning the babies lie. How this guy has burned so many Palestinian children with his bombs. And for him to stand up here and say they're burning babies is just the most psychotic thing I've ever seen.
They are really cruel to their own people because when we try to take them away from the combat zones, they shoot them. They want people to be civilian casualties. They want a starvation policy that they themselves are trying to put into being, and we're doing everything to reverse.
Yeah, I'm sure that the Palestinians just want to starve their children. Sure, they do. Sure. That's their big scheme.
So in summary, he did not deny it. In fact, I got the strong inclination that that's what he would like to do. The Israeli government, the rest of them, they may have a very different opinion, but we have reached a critical point here that if you do this operation, if you go in to root out Gaza and certain parts of the Gaza Strip, that's an operation that may take 4 or 5 months. Keep in mind
Well, they've already been doing it for 2 years.
Israeli chief of army here in Jerusalem.
They're acting like,
says
they're not taking any of these decisions lightly at all. It's such weighing on them so hard if they should finish destroying Gaza or not. This is such a charade.
And there are many people in this country who are sick and tired of war. How this goes down remains to be seen. 2 things he said: we intend to, and we don't want to keep it. They've been there before.
Okay, now let's see. Australia recognized Palestine. Let's hear what they say. 30-second clip. And remember, this is now France, UK, Canada, and Australia.
Today I can confirm that at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in September, Australia will recognise the state of Palestine. Australia will recognise the right of the Palestinian people to a state of their own, predicated on the commitments Australia has received from the Palestinian Authority. We will work with the international community to make this right a reality. Today I
predicted so many times.
Ubs
Thank you,
89
ABX89.
sent $10. What do you know about Trump deploying the National Guard on Washington, D.C.?
I hadn't seen any of that. Is that in the official news, or is that just internet QAnon stuff? Because I see Q-Tard stuff always talking about National Guard and stuff.
can confirm that at the 80th session of the United Nations General...
Took an anti-Israel trip to Palestine, and you idiots try to spin that into some nefarious thing, and then show back up. Yeah, we're going to get to Ireland. And then show back up again after I blocked you once. Okay, autistic much? Schizo much? It's your holy land. You're the one that thinks the magical Jews did their stuff there, not me. Such an annoying distraction. You think I'm trying to expose the Jews here, and all you're doing is in my chat spouting lunacy. Not putting it up with it today. Sorry, not Monday morning, not dealing with it at all.
September, Australia will recognise the state of Palestine.
Trump made a big announcement today. Okay, I haven't been paying attention to the news much today. I was in a space. We were arguing about Caesar's Messiah. Yesterday, I went and did more street interviews at the beach, got tons of great footage, so I was busy this morning uploading that and trying to organize that stuff.
Will recognise the right of the Palestinian people to a state of their own, predicated on the commitments Australia has received from the Palestinian Authority. We will work with the international community to make this right a reality.
So Ireland says they're recognizing it, and I Googled it, in the middle of 2024. I haven't seen them. Okay, 8 days ago, Ireland, Norway, and Spain officially recognize State of Palestine. I do see a headline saying that now. So I forgot, Norway too? All of the Western countries but America, and Trump seems to be opposed to it and dragging his feet. Remember, he threatened the trade deal with Canada because Canada was going to recognize Palestine? And this is something else going on. The Congress has urged the Treasury Secretary Bessent to investigate Ireland's proposed boycott of Israel. Man, we are such slaves of Israel that we're investigating Ireland because they want to boycott Israel. So now we're going to, cut off our relations with Ireland now because of Israel? Yeah, the kvetching Christians constantly spewing lies about me and in personal attacks, it means they're in panic mode and they're trying to shut it down, clearly, because what I'm saying is true. The United States must send a clear signal that efforts to economically isolate Israel will carry consequences. We're the big brother that's going to run around and protect our little holy chosen nation. So pathetic. Our internal code, blah, 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 999, reflects the United States' bipartisan commitment to opposing foreign boycotts against friendly nations, particularly those at Israel. Thank you. The United States must send a clear signal that efforts to economically isolate Israel will carry consequences. U.S. law designed to combat such discrimination will be enforced. And they go like, we're just following the law. Yeah, the law that the Jewish lobbies and Christian Zionists enacted. God, we're just Israel's bitch so much. All of our efforts and our resources about making Israel great again and the Abraham Accords and threatening and coercing and bribing all these countries to get along with them. It's despicable. Totally despicable. Big news that I did see this morning. I'll Google Trump and the National Guard thing, but I saw that Al Jazeera, Israel has killed a bunch of Al Jazeera journalists today in Gaza. I'm sure that's been going on. Why is Hegseth trending? And just hours before that, Israel assassinated 5 journalists. Ambassador Mansour at the Security Council said that journalists need to go to Gaza. They need to allow journalists in Gaza to report on what's really going on down there. I'm pretty sure Israel has a ban that no journalists from around the world are allowed into Gaza right now. It's like a complete media blockade.
100.
And then everything that does come out from Palestinian reporters inside Gaza, they say, oh, that's fake. Those are crisis actors. This is Hollywood.
Some people believe what Prime Minister Netanyahu said yesterday and today, that there is a huge global lie, that there is no starvation in Gaza. And the 2 gentlemen from the leadership of the UN is also participating in spreading lies. Then why don't you, the Security Council, go to the Security Council, take with you 100 journalists from your countries and other countries to verify exactly what is happening in Gaza. If he's so sure of this global conspiracy about the lie, let him prove it. Invite you, allow you to go to the Gaza Strip and see exactly what is happening there. Take journalists with you so that you can verify exactly what is happening in Gaza.
Israel makes up lies and war atrocities of what happened to them. And then when we get the true stuff about what's going on in Gaza, they say that's a lie. All of that is Hamas propaganda.
Because I think Mr. Netanyahu, in spite of all of the effort that he is putting with his government, he doesn't have credibility. He did not convince almost all of you and tens of countries outside this chamber from his narrative, and the narrative of his government, and the narrative of his foreign minister, who came trying to manipulate a humanitarian story of a captive and the pain of that caused to that family.
We get the point. We get the point. Trump now. Oh, I hope I have the clip. Shoot, I got to find it. Trump signed a U.S. brokered peace declaration alongside Prime Minister of Armenia and Azerbaijan after decades of conflict between the two countries. And I'm going to look for the clip, too. This guy goes, give Trump the Nobel Peace Prize. Give it to him. We have the Prince of Peace here. Another blurb in the book of Trump, the Prince of Peace, saving the world, bringing peace on earth.
President of the United States, the President of the Republic of
He's obsessed with this, by the way. He's been so obsessed with this Nobel Peace Prize. In fact, I'm going to go look up the clip from Expose the Enemy on YouTube. He had a really good little video compilation of all the time Trump's been obsessed about the Nobel Peace Prize.
The Prime Minister of the Republic of Armenia will now sign the joint declaration on the outcomes of the Trump Route for International Peace and Prosperity Summit.
That's really
They will
beautiful.
sign 3 copies in English. The President of the United States signs as a
That's really beautiful, he says.
witness to the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan and the Prime Minister of the Republic of Armenia, affirming their path to peace, stability, and prosperity. We kindly ask that all guests remain seated for the signing of the documents.
Remember, Netanyahu already nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize?
That is so great. And we'll hold up. How about holding up that document? All right.
All right, just reposted it, so I should be able to find it now, the clip I was looking for. And then we'll go to Expose the Enemy. I want to show this because that we see the Trump peacemaker, Prince of Peace narrative, like the Isaiah chapter 9 inscription on the Prince of Peace award that the Chabad Lubavitchers gave to Trump.
And we will promote.
Remember Netanyahu? This is all going. So Netanyahu's going to be the one that awards Trump with the Nobel Prize too. He officially gave it to him. And we saw this going back to Trump's first term. Remember, Jerome Corsi came on Alex Jones and said, high level above Mossad intelligence told him that Netanyahu and Israel was going to nominate Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize.
I think President Trump deserved to have a Nobel Peace Prize.
Don't upload your video.
We will defend that, and we will promote for that, and that's obvious. So, and today's event, I think, is a very bright expression of that, and hopefully you will invite us to
front row. You'll be front row.
Yeah. I think
front row. See what I'm saying? He's like, oh, everybody give it to him. Give it to him. There's like a weird campaign. This is probably just a theater. Like, what did Trump do? What did Trump do that they couldn't do? They've been fighting for decades, but Trump just comes in, makes one phone call and says, guys, we really need to make a deal. And they're just like, oh, art of the deal. We'll do it. Right? Does this even feel real and genuine? Or a little too forced? Here's Expose the Enemy. Trump was always Israel first. The road to bombing Iran excerpt. Oh, this is the excerpt. Shoot. Well, let's go to Expose the Enemy's full page and find the full video. Because we got to find the full one. Here it is. All right. No ad. There we go. I want to find, I'm sorry, I wanted to play this whole thing.
Hi.
But we're going to find the compilation.
If, as has also been...
He shows Obama warning about everything, about how they want to rip up the Iran deal, how Trump from day one, this is such a good video from Expose the Enemy. It has the Corsi thing, Corsi and InfoWars' role, and Roger Stone's role in all of this. Let's see. The generals, Boykin. This is probably it right here.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you. So, I've been doing deals for a long time. I've been making lots of wonderful deals. Great.
Oh, this was him at the Tea Party event where he came and talked about making a deal with Iran. His whole presidency has been centered around this bombing Iran. Watch this. It's a lot of good old
Trump wasted no time in simultaneously bashing the Obama administration, lying through his teeth, and extolling the merits of his own negotiating power.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's such an honor. I was called by Senator Cruz a few days ago, and he said, do you think we can get a really good crowd out here to protest this incompetent deal? And I said, boy, can we get a crowd. And that was
2015, they literally, Trump headlined and came out on the public stage in a big way, condemning the bad Iran deal. Isn't that crazy?
Days ago, and look what shows up, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you. So, I've been doing deals for a long time. I've been making lots of wonderful deals.
Before he announced he was running.
That's what I do. Never, ever, ever in my life have I seen any transaction so incompetently negotiated as our deal with Iran.
Does anybody believe that Trump is really so upset about the Iran deal? He's never been more outraged. Let me get on my stump and have a whole event to condemn. The Zionists are very unhappy with this Iran deal. I've never seen a worse deal in my life. It really keeps me up at night. Does anybody believe that? No, he was their agent in place to be their Zionist frontman.
Armed with his low information talking points, Trump tested the waters with his formula, and it worked like magic.
They will not let Israel survive with incompetent leadership like we have right now. Israel will not survive.
Trump and this network would go on to use the Tea Party movement as a base starting point to launch his own movement, copying the Make America Great Again slogan of the Reagan-Bush 1980 campaign that inspired the evangelical Christian voting bloc to mobilize politically, backed by the same network. This time, however, Trump was a man, and with his most iconic accessory in campaign history, the Trump MAGA brand, consumed the right wing. In March 2016, before Trump became the Republican nominee, he gave a speech at the AIPAC conference heavily focused on the Iran nuclear deal.
Good evening. Thank you very much.
Now here is at AIPAC.
I speak to you today as a lifelong supporter.
This is before he even got the nominee, lifelong supporter of Israel.
And true friend of Israel. I'm a newcomer to politics, but not to backing the Jewish state. But I didn't come here tonight to pander to you about Israel. That's what politicians do. All talk, no action, believe me. I came here to speak to you about where I stand on the future of American relations with our strategic ally, our unbreakable friendship, and our cultural brother, the only democracy in the Middle East, the State of Israel.
This video is so good. We'll play the whole
Imagine
thing.
being able to build an app with your
Mike Flynn says he's Israel's greatest fan. He worked for an Israeli lobby.
Thank you. My number one priority is to dismantle the disastrous deal with Iran.
Which he did, and then bombed him. He called for regime change. Okay.
Thank you.
Here it is.
Those in attendance ate Trump's spiel up. Obama didn't launch a war on Iran.
Beginning.
He didn't need to in order to win an election against Mitt Romney. I argue that Obama starting a war would have made his re-election a lot more difficult than it was. Obama won very comfortably, another thing Trump got wrong. You also heard Trump mention how Obama couldn't negotiate and alludes to himself as being this great negotiator and deal maker that he markets himself as, and that he still perpetuates today despite being exposed as a complete fraud. This statement was made after Obama received the Nobel Peace Prize, which is relevant when you understand why he received the award. It is also relevant because Trump is obsessed with Obama receiving it and the fact that he hasn't.
I'm banned.
I think I'll get a Nobel Prize for a lot of things. Mr. President, I think I'm going to get a Nobel Prize for a lot of things if they gave it out fairly, which they don't. They gave it out, well, they gave one to Obama immediately upon his ascent to the presidency, and he had no idea why he got it. And you know what? That was the only thing I agreed with him on.
If I were named Obama, I would have had the Nobel Prize given in 10 seconds. He got the Nobel Prize. He didn't even know what the hell he got it for. Remember, he got elected. Well, so did I. He got elected, and they announced he was getting the Nobel Prize. Remember, he said, "Oh, what did I do?" He didn't know what the hell he did. He got the Nobel Prize for doing nothing. For getting elected, but I got elected too. I'm going to come home early. I'm going to show you what a great job. I just got nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Because when Obama got it, nobody knew what he got it for, including him. Remember, they said, "What did you get it for?" I don't know. That's how different. We have to work harder. He got a Nobel Prize, and he didn't have any idea why he got it. And then he started dropping bombs 2 weeks later on some place that didn't work out. Couldn't work out because he had John Kerry negotiating, who was the worst. Incompetent. Now, it's so sad that Iran, that horrible deal. Well, they should give me the Nobel Prize for Rwanda, and if you look at the Congo, or you could say Serbia, Kosovo, you could say a lot of them. You could say, the big one is India and Pakistan. I should have gotten it 4 or 5 times. I should get it for I would think the Abraham Accords would be a good one too. But they won't give me a Nobel Peace Prize because they only give it to liberals.
Now let's take a look at the peace prizes that Donald Trump has received for doing Israel's bidding.
Donald Trump received an award from the Israel Heritage Foundation in appreciation of his efforts to forge normalization agreements between the Jewish state and 4 Arab nations under the Abraham Accords. The award, a menorah, was presented to the former president at Mar-a-Lago on February 26, and the following inscription was on the plaque at the menorah's base. According to Rabbi Katz, one of the presenters of the award, the president was very excited to see us. He remembered me from July when we gave him the Crown of Jerusalem for moving the embassy to Jerusalem. In case you don't remember, last July, the Israel Heritage Foundation presented Trump with the Crown of Jerusalem Award, which was a silver...
They gave him 2 big awards 7 months apart.
Torah crown contained in a glass box.
These awards were basically made up by this Zionist organization to feed...
Look at this. Isaiah 9:1. Very messianic chapter. For a child has been born to us, a son has been given to us, the authority, and the authority will rest on his shoulders. And who is wondrous, advisor, mighty God, eternal Father, shall give him the name, the Prince of Peace, to Donald Trump by the Chabad-Lubavitch Group.
Trump's ego and keep him doing Israel's bidding. They know he loves to get praise and told how amazing he is and how brave he is. Really smart move by the Zionists here, continuing to pander to the fragile, narcissistic snowflake. So let's take a look at the reason why Obama received the Nobel Peace Prize, the one that Donald Trump doesn't want you to know about. Quote, for his extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples, unquote. Even after receiving the award, Obama continued on in the same vein and was able to successfully negotiate a deal with the Iranians, something Trump stated he couldn't do. Then, after Trump was proven wrong, he criticized the deal at every turn, and one of the reasons why is because he was wrong and his ego can't stand it. Another reason is that he is jealous of Obama. And what have we seen Trump do since he took office? The complete opposite of behaviour of the reasoning behind Obama receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. He's been on a rampage to weaken international diplomacy, disrupt trade, create uncertainty in the markets, destabilising the world, behaving erratically, threatening to invade.
That's good. So that's the road to bombing Iran from Expose the Enemy on YouTube. The point I wanted to go there was show that Trump is obsessed with the Nobel Prize. That was the purpose of going there. Okay, where were we? Now, Trump's appointed Zionist Judge Jeanine, Fox News host, who claimed that Trump was fulfilling biblical prophecy when he moved the embassy to Jerusalem. She is now, as I said, number one priority, going after quote-unquote anti-Semites. Threatened all of the anti-Israel Americans. She says, we're going to prosecute these cases, anti-Israel cases, with a vengeance, with the vengeance of Hashem.
We have a problem with anti-Semitism in this country, and the statistics bear that out. And I think now more than ever, we are seeing increased numbers. So what does that mean? What it means, if you...
Another Zionist appointed by Trump. What is she? Acting Attorney General? Priority number one, the anti-Semitism in this country.
Beowulf 914 sent $20 on Rumble.
Thank you.
Moshiach Trump doing his job perfectly.
Hail Beowulf, thank you. Yes, he is.
We have a problem with anti-Semitism in this country, and the statistics bear that out. And I think now more than ever, we are seeing increased numbers. So what does that mean? What it means, if you can get from, my tone, we're going to be very aggressive. You heard from the FBI, the MPD. We're going to look for these cases. We're going to prosecute these cases to the full force of the law. It's a problem, and we're not going to tolerate it. Anti-Semitism has historically been one of the biggest scabs in the world that keeps getting picked on and picked at. So from my perspective, I will go.
Anti-Semites. Did she say the anti-Semitism is the biggest scab of the world that's being picked at?
In the world, that been one of the biggest scabs in the world that keeps getting picked on and picked at. So from my perspective, I will go forward with every case with vengeance.
Vengeance.
We have a problem with that.
Remember the girl at the university the other day? She hit the Zionist, had an IDF shirt on or a Mossad shirt on. And Pam Bondi was like, we are investigating this on Twitter. Like some minor altercation. And of course, the very top of the what is he? Department of Justice? What is Pam Bondi? Not Attorney General. FBI. She's in charge of the FBI, right? Okay, anyway. Now here's Greenblatt talking about how they developed new anti-Semitism agenda with Biden, and now they're working with Trump to implement it. Plan trusted. No refunds.
I credit the Biden administration. I have worked with the prior education secretary, and I've worked with this education.
DOJ, that's right. Department of Justice. What did I say? I said that.
I have worked with the prior education secretary, and I've worked with this education secretary. And I credit the Biden administration for their national strategy to counter anti-Semitism, a really important document. No one had done what the Biden administration had done before in elevating anti-Semitism to a federal priority. And ADL, in full disclosure, worked with them on that. And they get a lot of credit for adopting the plan. And then I give credit to the Trump administration for actually implementing aspects of the plan and taking a strong view, again, in the face of real, not imagined, real acts of hate, real acts of discrimination. Again, we helped to write the national strategy to counter anti-Semitism, released by the Biden administration. We were deeply involved in that. We are working as well with the Trump administration. This is what we do. I have worked with...
Now they're working with the Trump. And see his book behind him, It Could Happen Here. Trump appoints the Chabad Lubavitch rabbi to be in charge of the anti-Semitism envoy. I don't believe he's been confirmed yet. They'll get that. They'll get their recess appointment, whatever they got to do to get him in. It'll be anti-Semitic to not get the Chabadnik in as to lead the anti-Semitism envoy. First quote that they had with him when he was nominated by Trump was words just like 1930s Germany. This is the narrative. We just saw Judge Jeanine saying the same thing. The scab, the plague. We're coming after with a vengeance. This great awakening, this red pilling, this Overton window, this rise in mostly led Christian anti-Semitism is giving them the whole pretext for the villain story.
Tony sent $10. Nobel Peace Prize is a joke. Here's some shekels for Adam. Thanks for your work.
Thank you, Connie. Appreciate the shekels, as always. Okay, what do we have here? ADL bemoans Jewish intermarriage as Israel's support collapses. So if some white people were said they're scared of their demographics and replacement and mass immigration and intermarriage, you're an evil white supremacist. But then Greenblatt says the same thing, and they view intermarriage and assimilation as the worst thing in the world to their tribe.
Talking about how clarity of words is so important as the head of the ADL. Let's go ahead and take a listen to that.
I do feel that my job requires me to have a kind of moral clarity.
And on the use of words.
On the use of words. I do think what's happening in Gaza is a terrible, catastrophic situation. I don't think it's a genocide. Because that's a legal definition, which means an intentional effort. And I don't have the dictionary in front of me.
I have it here.
But
it
an
says,
intentional. Okay, what does it say?
I mean, it's a UN, right? We should say it's a legal definition. And it says any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group, such as killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, forcibly transferring children of the group to another group.
So in fairness, I don't have that definition in front of me, right? And I haven't read it like you have before this. But
so it does. The definition would clarify it as genocide. You were wrong. Oops.
Simply say is that I don't believe the Israeli government is committing
good one, Sarah. Only Jews can claim genocide and call other people Nazis. That's right.
genocide.
It's never been easier to start a podcast than with Riverside. Here's how it works.
Skip.
First, go to Riverside.
I mean, it's just incredible. At first he's like, well, I haven't looked at the definition. Okay, well, here's the definition.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have it in front of me, and I haven't really thought about it. It's like,
it does fulfill
how
the
could you
definition.
have
That's
not
funny.
thought about it? And then there's no, well, here's why I don't think the Israeli government, here's why I don't think it's here either. Right. Let's take a listen.
You have equated anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism.
It is.
And I will say that in preparation for this conversation, I talked to a lot of different people. And
I would not say anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. Could you argue that anti-Judaism is anti-Zionism is anti-Judaism? Sure. I think it is Judaism. Could you say that anti-Judaism is anti-Jewish? Okay, fair enough. It is the Jews and the Jewish religion. Is it okay, though, to be anti a religion? Yes, it is. If their religion is about ruling the world with their Messiah and their God, we're allowed to, and they think they're chosen in a special role to do that. Yes, we are allowed to not be on board with that and take issue with that.
one of the things I heard is that anti-Zionism for them is a desire to have the rights of Palestinians be equal to the rights of Jews in Israel and the Palestinian territories. The idea of sort of, I guess, the one-state solution, if you will. Is that definition of anti-Zionism to you anti-Semitic?
Well, look, if you believe that only Jewish
for the
people...
first time ever, who was it? The guy from, even he's a Zionist, it was like I-24 News pushed back and asked him some hard questions, and now they're pushing back. I've always complained, I've never seen anybody do an interview, any of these mainstream people do an interview with Greenblatt and ever ask him a hard question. They just usually let him say whatever he wants and no pushback at all. We're finally seeing some, huh?
Don't have the right
He's finally having to work for his like $1 million whatever paycheck he gets every year. It's probably like I think it's like, I remember checking before, it was like 800,000 or 500,000 or something like that.
Determination. That's anti-Semitic because it's holding out Jews to a double standard you don't accord to other people. So if you believe my definition of Zionism, which is really not my definition, it's widely accepted, it's peculiar to me how anti-Zionism isn't the opposite of that. How people choose to interpret it, to embellish it, to sort of dress it up as something other than what it is. But the reality is, if you believe how I laid out Zionism, then anti-Zionism is pretty simple.
I think the challenge is if someone defines their view of anti-Zionism in a way that allows for Jews to exist in a state of Israel, but that grants Palestinians rights. But you're seeing that as anti-Semitic.
And she brings up in this exchange, which is longer, and I encourage you to read it, she actually brings up Ezra Klein's piece, which I think was an intelligent way to
work with this education secretary. And I credit the Biden administration for their national strategy to counter it.
All right, here is the clip of him kvetching about intermarriage. And I think somebody needs to make a real good Greenblatt compilation, a good Greenblatt edit of some of his wildest sound bites. The craziest one is he says that we need to implement, well, the other day he said we need hundreds of billions to incorporate for AI anti-Semitism, to combat anti-Semitism. He said the same amount of resources that they're putting into AI, like hundreds of billions, need to be also for anti-Semitism. And then he says that, speaking to the Knesset in Israel, Greenblatt said that they need to incorporate genius, quote, genius ideas like the pagers blowing up to combat anti-Semitism in America. It's wild. Here's the intermarriage rates.
Is it your sense that Jewish people are getting complacent, that they're not engaging to degrees and levels we should be?
I have met a lot of October 8th Jews for whom the massacre on October 7th was a wake-up call. I've met a lot of people who feel much more galvanized, much more organized.
See, any type of anti-Semitic persecution or attacks where they're the victims, what does it do? It galvanizes them. It makes them become more Jewish. Christians throughout the diaspora, the exile, that were believing that they're chosen, but then hating them and blaming them for killing Jesus, that solidified and kept them in Judaism. Yeah, October 8th Jews. It's like you could have a secular, not very tribal Jew that doesn't even really identify as Jewish, but then if there's some Christians in town that call him a Christ killer, that's like more likely to make him identify and tribe up with his Jews, with the Jews, his Jews, with the tribe up with the tribe.
I've met a lot of people who feel much more galvanized, much more organized. But that will only be sustained if we offer them, ways to participate in a real and robust way in Jewish life.
Mm-hmm. And whose responsibility is that?
All of ours. Yeah. But this is why we need a revolution in our community on so many levels. So look, the reality is that intermarriage rates continue to go up. Assimilation continues apace. And look, I fight anti-Semitism. That is my...
See, it's melting pot. They kvetch about assimilation, but then they preach, the Zionists like Zangwill preach melting pot for the rest of the world. Rest of the world, it's open borders and all this interracial propaganda and advertisements in media. But for them, it's, assimilation and intermarriage is devastating. Isn't it amazing, the double standard? If a white person were saying this, they'd call him a white supremacist.
Continues apace. And look, intermarriage rates continue to go.
Responsibility is that? And that's
all of ours. Yeah. But this is why we need a revolution in our community on so many levels. So look, the reality is that intermarriage rates continue to go up. Assimilation continues apace. And look, I fight anti-Semitism. That is my job. Right. But I worry a great deal about broader questions of Jewish identity, as I think we talked about over lunch.
They depend on perceived persecution to stop them from assimilating. That's his whole shtick here. And by the way, I have also a clip of Sheldon Adelson kvetching about assimilation.
Parisa Time sent $5 on Rumble. Thanks for never giving up. Red heart emoji.
Thank you. Yeah, no. Can't stop, won't stop. Here's Sheldon Adelson also kvetching, Trump's top donor, about assimilation and intermarriage.
In this country, the one thing the Jews have been searching for 3,000 years is acceptance and assimilation. And now that we've achieved acceptance and assimilation, it's turning out to be our undoing. And without birthright, there are statistics that have been proven at least twice, once by Brandeis and once by Pew Research.
Hey, maybe white people should have a birthright. Oh my God. Who wants to help me start a European Birthright Association where white people get free trips to go back to European homelands, and then they meet and hook up and fall in love and then start families? That's what the Jews do. Doesn't that sound cool?
But there's only 40...
Any European billionaires want to support European birthright trips?
2% of Jewish kids been proven at least twice, once by Brandeis and once by Pew Research, that there's only 42% of Jewish kids between the age of 18 and 26 that say they'll marry within the religion and or bring their children up Jewish.
That's anti-Semitic.
Now,
yeah.
42% is less than half the remaining.
Dude, I was in like college.
Bang a lu centaines $, I wish people would just go with it. Yeah. Judaïsme is ISM. Anti-Zion ISM is anti-Judaïsme, anti-Semitism. Oh, on it and denounce Judaism instead of backpedaling. Yeah. My reason it's not happening in the Zionist sphere is Christian and Muslims gatekeeping.
Dude, I cannot understand a word of that French accent. But you're right. Own it. Right. Anti-Zionism is anti-Judaism. Yes, I'm anti-Judaism. And I'll show why. Why it's a threat. Why it's a problem. Why I'm not on board. Chad is really excited over the white birthright trip, huh? Is there any white nations to go back to that don't have Muhammad as the number one named kid? There is. I'm just joking. I'm saying that negatively. Could you imagine you're in your 20s and it's like, oh, free Viking billionaire funds a program where you can go tour Scandinavia and Northern Europe with a bunch of hot blonde girls? That sounds like a dream come true. Birthright, but for white people. How about that? Who wants to help me start this? This is a good idea.
In another 2 or 3 generations, there won't be any more secular Jews left. Now think of that. For 3,000 years, we've been fighting for acceptance. Now we've been accepted. It's turning out to kill us. So this is the most important program of my lifetime. All the kids that go on birthright, that number jumps from 42 to 76%.
Wow. Isn't that cool? I mean, not that, but like the idea. We need a training manual for the new... That would be cool. Who's got the resources to get that going? That sounds amazing. All right. Faith under fire. Netanyahu. Hold on. What did I just see there? That ad. Was that a hat with a Star of David? Is that what I saw? Faith under fire. Netanyahu calls out efforts to divide Christians and Israel in the U.S. Let's see this. Uh-oh. Nothing he hates more than his Christian golem. Birthright to Europa.
Thinking about it, let me tell you why waiting can cost you. Every day you wait, you lose more bone. That can make...
You don't even have to have it funded. People would probably sign up for a all-white European birthright trip. Come on. Fox's site sucks. Don't make me do another ad.
If you're still thinking about it, let me tell you why waiting can cost.
Dude, look at Wheezin' the Juice is fantasizing. He says, big-tittied beer maid sitting on my lap feeding me pretzels on the shores of the Rhine. Please. Doesn't that sound amazing?
The names sent $5 on Rumble. Did you and Lucas Gage bury the hatchet?
We did, yes. We did.
See the effort to break down our bond in America, in other parts of the world, that partnership that promotes Judeo-Christian values, that protects in Israel Christians as nowhere else in the Middle East, that truth is being reversed, put on its head by a campaign of lies. Israel is now portrayed as the enemy of Christians. And the enemies of Christians are portrayed as the friends of the United States. Iran, a friend of the United States. an innocent victim. The Muslim Brotherhood, who chant death to America alongside Iran, friends of America. Hamas, these monsters who burned babies, raped our women, beheaded our men, and chant death to America, friends of America. Israel has a thriving Christian community, the only thriving Christian community in the broad radius of the Middle East, where Christians are not tolerated, they're cherished. You can light Christmas trees in Nazareth. But in Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus, when Israel left and the Palestinian Authority came in, the Christian majority shrank from 80% to under 20% because there was no more Israel to protect them. We cherish our Christian friends. We protect the Christian holy sites, not only the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, but in the Galilee, not only in Nazareth, but in the Galilee, in Capernaum, where Jesus preached for 3 years.
Hey, the word Jesus preached, goy. Nothing they hate more than, he's like, come see the Jesus boat, goy.
We uphold and cherish those sites. So Israel, the guardian of Christianity in the Middle East, is presented on American television by purchased influencers. It's presented as the enemy of Christianity. What folly, what lies, what a travesty of truth. So one of the things we have fought now, a seven-front war, we have an eighth front. And that is the front and the battle for truth. And I can think of no one who can carry this battle alongside with us, no one who can do it better than you on this channel, than you, Paula, and our many Christian friends who must fight for our common values, who must stand up for the truth. And by standing up for the truth, you stand up with Israel, and you stand with the Jewish people against this abomination of falsehoods. We can win this war exactly as we win the seven-front war. And I thank you for your support.
It's crazy how they're calling it the seven-front war. That's like a biblical thing of a war against 7 nations.
Jesus Bryce.
Cheers
Sent
to the beer
$10.
maids.
Cheers to the beer maids, I say.
Yeah, I just got a tweet. What should I put? We need to copy the Jews and have a European birthright trip where young Europeans can travel to our ancient homeland and pair up to start families. Should I do like a GIF of like Scandinavia or something? Scandinavia? What's the good image? The mushrooms? This one will work. I think it's a really cool idea. The Jews will try to shut it down. They'll be like, white supremacist travel group won't allow non-whites.
Sean, you don't sent $5, people who truly know. No, not to believe a word out of his psychopath's mouth.
Right. Very true. Okay, let's get into the Trump blackmail Epstein stuff. So I talked about this when Owen Schroyer was on a couple of weeks ago. We talked about how we both agreed there's a good chance that Mossad is slowly dripping out and leaking some of this newly surfaced Trump Epstein stuff. Like they were at a wedding together and Trump's message to Epstein for his 50th birthday that came out. And now a Times of Israel blogger suggests that and threatens that leaks about Trump's involvement with Epstein are Israel's punishment for Trump's refusal to bomb Iran more. He warns it really doesn't pay to start up with Israel. Trump and his administration criticized Netanyahu and Israel, and now the Epstein files are haunting him. For a long time, the files had subsided in the background. They weren't considered to be much of a threat to Trump, but all of a sudden, right after he started up with Israel, the files surfaced, and they seemed to be overwhelming him. And now some old files are threatening him. Perhaps Trump will realize that it really doesn't pay to start up with Israel, because when, by divine providence, curse them and you'll be cursed, things that were hidden become revealed and enables people to correct their mistakes and to endeavor to live their lives properly the way God, aka Jews, want them to. The Sweeney trip, is that what it is? Raspberry? Yeah, just imagine, guys, you're in your 20s. Cruise line. What is it? What is is there a Viking cruise line? Only Europeans, nothing but blondes and blue eyes, traveling all around the Northwest Europe. Just like the Jews in their birthright. Sounds pretty epic, honestly. Sounds very epic. Just a party bus full of Sydney Sweeneys on a vacation to our ancient homeland. Gosh, where was that? Why do the Jews get that and we don't get that? That's not fair. Okay, and here's the and then we have, this is the newest release too. Epstein, possibly his last photograph ever before he was arrested and then died or killed or suicided or released in custody, seen wearing an IDF sweatshirt. Just what Israel needs. Epstein, they're like, he didn't work with Israel. And then, boom, IDF sweatshirt. Okay. Yeah, Sydney Sweeney sitting on your lap with feeding you pretzels and saying, hey, King, can I go get you another beer from the beer hall? Exactly. As we go check out this waterfall in Norway, something cool like that. Oh my gosh, could you imagine? Everybody agrees it sounds like a dream.
In the 90s, and there was no... I believe that the American government is sort of trapped by the Israelis. Jeffrey Epstein is one of their tools to trap them.
And what do you think of Dershowitz's denial?
Hold on a second. I want to give you an example.
This is apparently a Jewish Israeli intelligence officer. Says that Netanyahu is blackmailing Trump, and that the release of the Wall Street Journal Trump Epstein birthday card as a warning to Trump. Apparently he didn't give them enough under this theory when he bombed Iran and worked hand in hand with Netanyahu.
Bill Clinton, President Bill Clinton, Ehud Barak met Arafat in the 90s, and there was no deal. The reason was Epstein. They were being blackmailed by Epstein. Ehud Barak was also a friend of Epstein, the prime minister of Israel at the time. But he was being blackmailed by the Israeli right wing as well. And they stopped an agreement with Arafat. They were about to reach an agreement there for a two-state solution, but that was stopped because of Epstein. They were both being blackmailed by Epstein.
And so Jeffrey Epstein, in a way, presumably being used as a tool by the Israelis, helped to change the course of history in this region I'm speaking to you from.
Of course, a change thing, and they trapped a number of U.S. presidents.
Guys, I'm dropping the link in the chat. Everybody give me a retweet on the birthright thing. Let's get this to blow up. We want to make this happen. Not for me, of course. I'm happily married. I got my, I'll have to do my family birthright trip like we did last year. I did go to England. That's what it felt like, too. That's what I called it. That's my making Aliyah, was going to England. Yeah, Germany next.
By using Jeffrey Epstein. And it wasn't only about sex, it was also the money issue. Where was the money coming from? But everything is stuck over Gaza. And I believe the Israeli...
He wrote the prophets of war. You'll get it? Prophets? The prophets? The Jews? The prophets of the Bible? The prophets of war inside the secret U.S. Israeli arms network. That sounds like a good book.
Have the American government captive due to what happens with Epstein, or what happened in the past with Epstein. Rupert Murdoch, newspaper, Wall Street Journal, put out.
Good point. Rupert Murdoch is very close with Netanyahu. So that's who came out with this Wall Street Journal thing, was Rupert Murdoch. There you go. Bing, bang, boom. Epstein's guy.
That card or something, a birthday card Trump sent to Epstein. Where do you think they got it from? And I don't think Trump,
this Jew, gets it,
wants to continue this war or the genocide. I think it's
it looks bad
the
for him.
Israelis holding him back.
Given how much maverick power he has to create peace in South North Korea, in Palestine, in all these different places, one might ask, why do they need Jeffrey Epstein? Why can't they just assassinate Donald Trump? I know there's a lot of speculation. There has been that John F. Kennedy was assassinated with Israeli intelligence help. Why do they need things like Jeffrey Epstein?
This guy's got a huge schnog, whatever this show is.
Somebody tried to assassinate him, didn't
underground.
They? Before he became, before the election.
Don't say that it was Mossad that did that.
It doesn't always work.
Oh, Mossad missed?
I'm not sure what's going to happen because, people look at these pictures of starving children all over the world, and there's a lot of pressure on these politicians to say enough, to tell them enough is enough. I'm not sure how far this will go. And I think the Israelis are committing harakiri on themselves, or by doing this, because eventually...
Okay. We get the point. We're not going to play the whole 31-minute video. Interesting. Red heifer update. We got some red heifer serious drama. Remember a couple weeks ago they burnt one? But they're like, don't worry, we're burning one, but it has a black hair, so it's just a practice run. Now, update. This is when they burnt it the other day. Update. Apparently, Byron Stinson posted on Facebook that they weren't being honest, and actually it didn't have a black hair, and they really did the sacrifice of the heifer. But the Temple Institute has come out and announced that all of these red Texas red heifers have grown a black hair, have a blemish, and are now not kosher and disqualified. So we've got a rift, we've got a schism in the red heifer movement, apparently. But one group of Jews says the red heifers were kosher. And Temple Institute says, no, they're not. So we will see. We will see how this pans out. We will keep our eyes open for some updates on that front. All right, let's get into the South Park thing we didn't cover on Friday. South Park. So in these CQ spaces, I've literally heard these guys make the argument that, oh, you're a Christian white nationalist. Well, do you want to live in a nation of all white people? They go, yes. Okay, well, do you want to be in heaven with a bunch of blacks and Mexicans? It's a good argument to use against a white nationalist Christian. It's a tough answer. It's almost like South Park has been channeling that meme. And now it has, this is so funny, it has ICE up in heaven kicking out all the Mexicans. So here's the first scene.
These raids are kind, hardworking, deeply faithful people who care for their families. I have no doubt that there are many, many Latinos in heaven.
Many Latinos
Optics
in heaven.
Prime sent $5 on Rumble. Did you catch the video of the NY Jews burning a deer in a forest?
I think that was too far back on my bookmarks. I didn't get that. But, I sent that to Adam King, and I said, what the hell is this? And he says he doesn't know of any type of religious connection to burning a deer. And he thinks the only thing he could say is he thinks it was just some young Jews that were just messing around and being stupid. I mean, what other explanations are there? Are they just practicing their own red heifer? I mean, if they were burning a cow, I'd say it's the red heifer thing. But what in Jewish scripture or literature says anything about burning a deer? Maybe it's just some weird sadistic, bullshit they were doing. I don't know. I guess time will tell. If anybody has any answers on that, I haven't seen it, but yeah, very bizarre. Ice into heaven, yes.
Well, this is bad.
All the Mexicans running, all the angel Mexicans running and getting arrested.
Remember, only detain the brown ones. If it's brown, it goes down.
If it's brown, it goes down, says Christy Nome. That is so funny. If it's brown, it's going down. Back down south, Pedro. That is so funny. But yeah, all you white nationalist Christians out there that say, oh, you're anti-white if you criticize Christianity, well, you're in heaven with a bunch of non-whites. And I guess all the evil white pagans are going to be in hell with the Jews, according to you. So South Park is stealing your lines, huh? We's in the juice. Okay. So funny. South Park is really, really hitting the cultural zeitgeist hard, huh?
Jesus Christ! Oh, Jesus Christ. You're such a little bitch.
Now, is this apparently they're saying Nick Fuentes and Charlie Kirk are depicted in this latest South Park episode. Let's see this little
Who are you
snippet
talking
here.
about? He's gone too far this time, dude. The stuff he's saying about Jews is out of control. Bro, you just got to ignore him. Bro, it's pretty hard to ignore him when he's saying it all on a podcast.
He actually said that all women are whores, and the only thing we're good at is murdering babies.
Look, guys, just leave it alone. Don't give him any more attention. That's easy for you to say, dude.
Yeah, you are one of the multitudes of groups he's spewing his stupid shit about.
Hey, guys, who are you talking about?
Clyde.
Clyde? Yeah, in his stupid debating podcast.
Hey, here he comes.
Whatever, guys. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. You don't know a thing about the Jewish people.
Yeah, and shut up about girls.
Dude, South Park has an anti-Semitic podcaster. See how much in the cultural zeitgeist this is right now? In the first episode, the season premiere, they had Cartman saying like, oh, everybody's talking about the Jews now. I'm not even special anymore, or something like that. I have to pull up those clips too. Everybody's talking about the Jews.
Well, that sounds like a very female-led Jew thing to say. If you guys don't like it, why don't you come debate me on my podcast?
We're not indulging your stupid podcast.
Yeah, screw you, fat ass.
This hits a little close to home. This topic hits a little close to home. What is South Park trying to say with this character, too, by the way? What's this guy about? Who's this supposed to be?
Now, as your counselor, I want to try and understand why you're doing all these bad things you're doing. You know, the other students are very upset at this podcast, and what makes you think you got to say all this stuff, Clyde?
Hey, I'm just trying to make my nut, man.
Your nut?
Yeah, you know, kids have it tough these days. We got Xbox subscriptions, PS5, Steam subscriptions, Netflix, HBO. You want to order DoorDash? My nut's about $60 a week. So, you know, as a kid, if you could do a podcast, say some really divisive shit, then you could make your nut.
Dude, this does seem like Nick Fuentes. Are they watching Nick Fuentes? Playing video games, ordering DoorDash, and has a podcast talking about Jews and women? It's almost like they got... Cartman is playing Charlie Kirk. And who is this? What is this guy's name? Is playing Fuentes. Crazy.
Hello and welcome to the Clyde Donovan Podcast.
He's even got the two ferns like Fuentes has.
Welcome to the channel of truth, guys. You can't trust Jews, white people are the underprivileged, and women belong at home. I'd like to welcome our first guest to the debate, Eric Cartman.
Does he say having sex with women is gay?
We're here speaking the truth about...
Real Max 98 sent $5 on Rumble.
Thank you. First
time dono, Adam. Here's a question for the Christ cucks. If Jesus came back, how would Christians know it's him? Most of them would think he's a Fed trying to trick everyone.
Well, before they would believe anybody's going to be Jesus, there would have to be the Antichrist ruling the world. So number one, that would have to happen. And I guess unless they see him floating down from a cloud on the horse, they're not going to believe it's Jesus. I would say that. They don't see him coming down from the clouds with his blood-dripping robe and his sword and his horse with an army of angels. They're not going to believe anybody's Jesus. It's definitely Nick, yeah.
The Jews are the underprivileged white class. You can't trust Jews. White people are the underprivileged, and women belong at home. I'd like to welcome our first guest to the debate, Eric Cartman. What the hell do you think you're doing, Clyde? We're here speaking the truth about the Jews or the underprivileged.
Jen sent $20. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you, Jen. Jen's ready for the white birthright. White birthright trip.
What the hell do you think you're doing, Clyde? We're here speaking the truth about the Jews or the underprivileged white class. That's my stick! Knock it off, Clyde! You stole my idea! I don't know about stealing ideas, but I do know about some amazing supplement powders that are an absolute steal. Supplement powder? He-Man supplement powder can really help you bulk up and get the... Are you f***ing serious? People are sponsoring you for ripping me off? And it's really just the best way to get ripped quick, so be sure to get some, and also be sure to hashtag respect Clyde's authority. What?
That was his saying. Where's the other clip of Cartman?
Truth, guys.
This is it. That's the same one. And I'm not sure who this is supposed to be or how tapped in Trey and Stone, what is it? The creators of South Park are. Need More Amalek identifies with Cartman now. I hope you don't grow up to become a rabbi like Cartman did, though. But wow. I can't wait till next week. This reminds me of somebody. I don't know exactly who are they trying to say this is. This is funny. South Park updated their profile picture. Apparently, Kristi Noem was mad and called them sexist for criticizing her bimbo MAGA look and her plastic surgery. So South Park posted this, updated their profile picture to this picture of Kristi Noem's plastic surgery and makeup melting off of her face. Gotta love that sense of humor.
Henrathelian sent $10 on Rumble. At Henrathelian, Freemasonry is B'nai B'rith for the Gentiles. Some of their documents are very similar. Also, the stone that the builders rejected was Jesus.
I don't know how old B'nai B'rith is. I would think Freemasonry was older than B'nai B'rith, but it's rooted in Judaism and Solomon's temple, and they got the Bible there and stuff, so it's Jewish. No matter which way you slice it. Hey, Amalek, can you maybe find the clip of the other South Park episode? I'll check my bookmarks for it, actually. The other South Park, I want to play the other clip where Cartman says, like, everybody's talking about the Jews now. Here, let me look up on my phone real quick and see if we can find it.
Every time I learn something new, it pushes some old stuff out of my brain.
You guys sympathize with that problem? South Park. Let's see. Where's the clip? Oh, here's the other one. I'll retweet that. And this. All right. We'll find those real quick. Still got a lot of other stuff to cover. Going to get into the Christian problem stuff here in a second. Hopefully those retweeted. I want to play, since we're doing the Cartman segment. This definitely is Charlie Kirk.
If anyone around here is...
They got his hair exactly like Charlie Kirk and the way he reads the Bible, too. So if they got Charlie Kirk, obviously they're watching the Groyper versus Charlie Kirk thing.
Dick, are people stealing my stick? If anyone around here is going to be a master debater, it's me. So let's go. Who wants to debate the master debater? Let's go. You right there.
That's the stupidest haircut I've ever seen.
You are wrong. Leviticus 3:17 says it shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings. So you can shut up, baby. You just hate America and you love abortions. Dick, are people stealing my...
Dude.
The woman is killed and the baby dies
The new South Park is...
Oh my God, what makes you think you have the right to say what I do with my body?
Let me ask you something. If a pregnant woman is killed and the baby dies too, why is the killer charged with a double homicide?
Well, because people have different beliefs.
It's not about belief. It's about truth. Science confirms life begins at conception.
Oh my God, what makes...
Truth Pav, can you stop being such a little bitch? He says, for someone who hates Jews, you sure love the goy slop. Sorry, I'm watching the top cartoon satire on our culture and what they're talking about. Sorry. All right. One more little bitchy thing like that, and you're out of here, okay? Yeah, I'm not watching it. I'm watching the 1-minute clips, the 16-second clips. It's interesting to think that the top, like one of the most famous long-running cartoon shows is tapped into our corner of the internet and the conversations we're happening. Sorry, I'm talking about the viral things that everybody else is talking about. I guess I just love goy slop. Analyzing goy slop is not the same as loving goy slop, by the way. So shut the fuck up, Truth Pav, you kvetching Christian bitch. I'm sick of your shit. All right. Yeah, trying to hijack the show for attention. You're a little bitch. Let's look at how kosher the Catholic Catechism is here. Everyone should look upon his neighbor without exception as another self, and every man a neighbor is a brother. Liberation in the spirit of the gospel is incompatible with hatred of one's enemy as a person. Equality and differences among men. All men have the same nature and the same origin. All are called to participate in the same divine. All therefore enjoy equal dignity. Is there more? Every form of social or cultural discrimination. Thank you, Moonshot.
Moonshot 32 cent $10 on Rumble. Are you familiar with Martin Armstrong? He's forecasting a nuke going off by 2027 and U.S. Gov collapsing 2032. More hardcore Zog on the way.
I don't know who that is and if his prediction carries any weight because of who he is, but I mean, people are always predicting doom and gloom, and like, look at the rabbis in Gog and Magog in the situation today. So I don't know who that is, but what was the name of that guy again? We'll read the rest of it here. Hey, who was it that shared? Need more Amalek. Are you still there? Didn't you share a link with me where it talks about the view of Jews in the Catholic Catechism? I want to read that too. Martin Armstrong. Has anybody heard of Martin Armstrong? I feel like if I Google Martin Armstrong, there's going to be 1 million Martin Armstrongs, and I won't even be able to know. Time Out Truth, 1980. I don't even see him. Oh, yeah. All right. You're banned forever. Screw you. We gave you a chance. Christians are just so not chill. Just little kvetching bitches. Yeah, he's gone. All the attention I gave you today and last stream, too. How nice we were. Every form or social or cultural discrimination in fundamental personal rights on the grounds of sex, race, color, social condition, language, or religion must be curbed and eradicated as incompatible with God's design. Yeah, crybaby Christ cucks. Exist sinful inequalities. Excessive economic, social disparity between individuals and peoples of the one human race is a source of scandal and militates against social injustice, equity, human dignity, as well as social and international peace. Let's see. Need More Amalek says he's got me. I want to read the one. I want to read the one that it says about the Jews in the Catechism too. I thought that was this actually. What's trending? Sky News. Gays for Trump trending. Here it is. Bottom section, bottom right page. Thank you, Need More Amalek. Always coming through with the quickness. Jews are not, so this is the official catechisms of the Catholic Church. You are not a Catholic. You are a heretic if you don't agree with this right here. Every e-Crusader online, listen up. The historical complexity of Jesus' trial is apparent in the gospel accounts. The personal sin of the participants, Judas, the Sanhedrin, Pilate, is known to God alone. Hence, we cannot lay responsibility for the trial on the Jews in Jerusalem as a whole. Despite the outcry of manipulated crowd and the global reproaches contained in the apostles' calls to conversion after Pentecost, Jesus himself, in forgiving them on the cross, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do, and Peter in, we looked up this verse with Amalek. It was Acts 3:17. Acts 3:17 is a Christian identity destroyer. It says the Jews who rejected Jesus are the heirs and are the lineage of the fathers. I'll look it up here in a second. It says something even crazier. Acts 3:17. Let's do 15 to 20. I think that should get all of it. All right. Following suit both the ignorance of the Jews and of Jerusalem and even of their leaders, still less can we extend responsibility to other Jews of different times and places based merely on the crowd's cry, "His blood be on us and on our children," a formula for ratifying a judicial sentence. As the Church declared at the Second Vatican Council, neither all Jews indiscriminately at that time nor Jews today can be charged with the crimes committed during this passion. The Jews should not be spoken of as a rejected or accursed, as if this follows the Holy Scripture. All right? So blaming Jews for killing Jesus, and you are heretical, you are anti-Semitic, and you are condemned by real Christianity. So stop LARPing like, oh, we're so anti-Semitic and Jesus is anti-Semitic. The section here is about how Jewish church should convert Jews or should view Jews. All right, and there's more. All men are called to this Catholic unity of the people in God. Where is the part about Jews? The church and non-Christians. I don't see Jews on this page. Okay, here we go. Yeah. The relationship of the church with the Jewish people, this should be good. When she delves into her own mystery, the church, the people of God in the new covenant, discovers her link with the Jewish people. No more kvetching about, no more, hey, Judeo-Christian is just those Protestants, just those Schofield Bibles. No. Your Catholic Church should discover your link with the Jewish people, to whom the Lord our God spoke first. The Jewish faith, unlike other non-Christian religions, is already a response to God's revelation in the Old Covenant. To the Jews belong the sonship, the glory, the covenants, and the giving of the law. The worship and the promises, to them belong the patriarchs. And their race according to the flesh is the Christ. And for the gifts and the call of God are irrevocable. Section 1096 on the right side page talks about how Christians and Jews are the same and pray the same. I'll read this, and the Tradcat e-Crusader Catholics online, their only response is, oh, you're Jewish, you're Jewish. Your Pope wears a small hat and prays at the wall. And I'm reading straight from your own catechism. So stop coping. $10.96. Can I do a Control F? $10.96. Christian prayer, $10.96. This is, oh, that's cool. I like the little paper sounding thing. Amalek, can you, oh wait, there it is. I see it. This is interesting. Where on the page, Amalek, is that one? Just click on that link there and put it on the right side. Jewish liturgy and Christian liturgy. A better knowledge of the Jewish people's faith and religious life is professed and lived even now can help our better understanding of certain aspects of Christian liturgy. Yeah, you can learn from your elder brothers in faith, the Jews, Christians. For both Jews and Christians, sacred scripture is an essential part of their respective liturgies. Their response to this word, liturgy. They have parallels with the Jewish prayer. The Eucharist prayers also draw their inspiration from Jewish tradition. It's like Jay Dyer says, does your liturgy even do the real temple stuff? The relationship between Jewish liturgy and Christian liturgy, but also their differences in content, are evident in the feast of the liturgical year of the Passover. Christians and Jews both celebrate the Passover. All right. I think we got our point. Spam this at the Catholics. They'll call this Jewish propaganda. They'll say that they know better than the Pope, and they're going to overturn 70 years of Vatican II? Good luck. I'm sure that'll happen any day now. I'm sure any day Nick and the Groypers are going to take over the Vatican. Meanwhile, they're disavowed by the U.S. bishops. Here's a green pill. Look at this. 2-to-1 ratioed Giga-based dad. 389,000 followers to my 88,000 followers. Ratioed him 2-to-1. Exactly 2-to-1. 311 times 2 is 622. 622 likes. On the dot, 2-to-1 ratio. And we've done this before. He did the same exact thing before with another meme. What's a scam that's so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam anymore? Well, it's right underneath your nose, buddy. Boom, there's the scam that's so normalized you don't even really realize that the number one religion in the world is worshiping a Jew as God. So retarded. It's like he's throwing us softballs asking for us to do this. I think some other people were doing this too. I saw every time Christians post some dumb stuff like this, they just get destroyed in the comments. Like this one. Look at that one. Clown face with the arrows. I like that touch. Better than my little hand-drawn arrow. Good job, Brian. This one, too. Everybody's getting it. Carlin knows it's Christianity. Parhesia is in there. Christ Cuck Pastors. I support the older PSYOP, says the Hebrew Slave of Zion NPC. Evan Williams says the biggest psyop is pagans denying that Europeans are the true Israelites. God, Yeshua's strongest soldier right there. Every answer, every reply in here is basically Christianity is the big psyop. Okay. Now, speaking of psyops and disinformation, Candace Owens with the go-to kosher distraction of saying the Jews, the real problem with Jews isn't that they're Jews who think they're chosen by God and are following the Torah and worship Yahweh and have a Zionist agenda for the whole world to worship their Moshiach. No, that's not the problem. The problem is actually these secret Khazarians that are only pretending to be Jews. That's the real problem. Candace Owens with her goy slop, her Daily Wire, Dennis Prager tier Christian kosher opposition, gets 21,000 likes saying Abraham Polak was an Israeli historian and founder of the Department of Middle Eastern History at Tel Aviv University. He was awarded with the Prize for Jewish Thought in 1943 for researching and determining that modern Jews are actual Khazars who mass converted to Judaism. This is actually not true at all. DNA studies completely disprove this. This mass conversion, the original source to it dates back to a Jewish rabbi making up a fictional story about the king of Khazar converting to Judaism over Christianity and Islam because it's better than them and superior to them. This is gatekeeping the Torah. This is saying Torah is not a problem. Jews following the Torah and Yahweh is not a problem. No, it's the Khazars that's the issue. Total deflection, total obfuscation. And all you got to do is do a Grok or ChatGPT or look into this. This guy and his study were widely criticized as not true, as subsequent studies by the other Jewish guy that did it. Arthur Kessler, who wrote the 13th tribe, which I thought I had here somewhere. I always pull it up. Arthur Kessler's the 13th tribe. He is a Zionist that worked for Jabotinsky, the big Zionist, the founding of Israel. And he said this book helps stop anti-Semitism because it's telling Christians in the world and Gentiles, these aren't the Jews that killed your Messiah. It's other people. It's converts.
Sean Derrida sent $20 feeling the need to support. Great job as always bringing the light on the cockroaches.
Thank you. It's all the kosher QAnon. It's promoted by a bunch of Jews like Benjamin Friedman and also Benjamin Fulford. Yeah, the Khazar book is where they get the source of this mass conversion, which is disproved with genetics. Yeah, the Khazar book written by the rabbi was a fan fiction mythical story about how Judaism was superior to Christianity and Islam. It wasn't a real correspondence. It's another forgery. So I like what Keith Woods wrote here, a W for Keith Woods. He says, the Khazar theory is wrong. Recent studies on Khazar skeletons show they have no connection to Ashkenazi Jews. And genetic studies of Jews show that Ashkenazi retain their Middle Eastern ancestry. Thank you. I'll read that in a second when I finish this point. So even if you just grant, okay, maybe the Ashkenazis were Khazarians, you still have the Sephardic Jews, you still have the Mizrahi Jews, so they're not Khazarians, and they're still involved with Kabbalah and the founding of Israel and everything. So, but it's not true, and genetic studies show that Ashkenazi Jews do share a lot of DNA with Sephardic, with even Palestinian Arabs in that region. Another good point Keith makes. It's funny how Candace apparently distrusts Jewish sources on everything else, but doesn't apply her conspiratorial lens to the Khazar theory itself, which she says here was promoted by Jews and was promoted by the Jew Arthur Kessler as well. To stop anti-Semitism. They say that their motive was this is going to decrease anti-Semitism. It's going to get Gentiles chasing dead ends, chasing ghosts. So when it's convenient for Candace, she says the Jews are liars, they're lying. But when a Jew says the Khazar theory is real, she believes it. Normally, she's like,
Jew, guilty, you're Jew, doesn't matter.
But if she can spin some Jew that's saying, that's so perfect timing. I'm glad I remembered it. But if a Jew supports what she says, then she believes it. And all of this is deflection. She'll never criticize the Torah. In fact, Candace says explicitly she does not oppose Judaism. Because she's a Christian, she does not condemn the Torah. In fact, Arthur Kessler, author of the 13th Tribe, which promoted the Khazar theory and really popularized it, admitting to being enthusiastic about the theory because it would undermine anti-Semitism. According to the biographer, Kessler says, quote, once convinced that if he could prove that the bulk of Eastern European Jews were descended from Khazars, the racial basis, so they're not Jews, now they're whites. Now it's white people that are doing this in Israel. It's not Jews to blame. It's Jews are the victims here of the Khazars. See how that works? It would remove anti-Semitism, could disappear. That was the motive for the advocates of the Khazar theory. I'll figure it out, Zornder Edom. I'll see where it's at. Not surprisingly, then, this theory remains popular with people who want to criticize quote-unquote Zionist while avoid accusations of anti-Semitism and denying race, and criticizing the Torah in Judaism and in real Jews. And the Christians want to spin the synagogue of Satan of Revelation verse to say that that's a prophecy about the Khazars claiming they're Jews but not. Okay, let's see what this power chat said. It wasn't $5, but I wanted to read it anyway. I missed it. Let's see. The funny truth. You're pulling me away from Jesus Christ. I'm fond
The funny
of his
truth
ethics.
sent $2 on Rumble. You're pulling me away from JC. I'm fond of his ethics, but it's hard to deny the final fruit of JC's religion is enslaving the world and handing them over to the Jews. Sad.
Yeah, and like the golden rule is the best ethics that Jesus has, and that predates Christianity amongst pagans, but even Jews had the same golden rule type of thing. And oh, yeah, his ethics. The ethics aren't all that good. Love your enemy, hate your own family, be a good slave. Not the greatest ethics. We could do better. We can do better than the slave morality ethics and the loving your enemy and praying for your persecutor. But yes, and the biggest thing, the final fruit, is the whole religion is about enslaving the world. I just recorded a good interview with Think for Yourself about that over the weekend. Yesterday, it was Sunday morning. And he had some audio issues, but I got it recorded and I got to get that up and then I got to edit. It's going to take me hours to edit.
The Great Gorshek sent $5 on Rumble. Still donating for the sword.
We
Lol.
got the sword. The sword's back there on the wall. Haven't you seen it? Got to have the sword. No, we was king. No Viking is a real Viking without a sword. That's what I was told. Yeah, the ethics are not good. All right. Let's see. Good job there, Keith. And did I miss? Zornder Edom says, here it is.
Zornder Edom sent $20, feeling the need to support. Great job as always, bringing the light on the cockroaches.
Let's see this. Star of Remfan. Let's see this.
Don't forget Benjamin Netanyahu.
Oh, it's Benjamin Fulford, the conspiracy kook that says the most outrageous things. Everybody's a clone. Everything's
Trev sent $5 on Rumble. Hey dude, from your research, are Jews a distinct race or what the deal with them? Where do they come from?
I think they go back to the Levant. Probably a mix of people around the Levant, Canaanites. And then Ashkenazis, I think they just mixed with some European. Sephardic mixed with wherever else they went a little bit, but their DNA does all trace back together in the Middle East. Okay, let's hear Benjamin Fulford, who I believe is Jewish. Listen to how it exonerates real Jews in Judaism and says, oh, it's this Khazars and they're pretending to be Jews. And they secretly worship Satan, and it's not real Jews, and there's no Jewish Torah conspiracy. That's not what's really involved here. It's actually something else.
Don't forget Benjamin Netanyahu. And I have another thing I want to tell to the Jewish people. You are a God-fearing, good people ruled by Satan-worshiping gangsters, okay?
So they say God-fearing Yahweh. They're not worshiping Yahweh. They're worshiping Satan. You're not getting it. They worship Yahweh, And Yahweh is the Jewish God that wants to rule the world. This Satan and Khazarian bullshit is kosher distraction, disinformation. That's what this guy is.
Israeli flag should have been the menorah. Instead, you have a satanic symbol, okay? That is a satanic symbol on your flag. That is not a Jewish symbol. Why isn't the menorah on the Israeli flag? I'll tell you why. Because
the star is a Jewish symbol. Numbers, the most messianic verse. Numbers 24:17, the messianic star that will come out of Jacob. That represents the Messiah. That's why you see the Star of David in some Christian churches also.
Rothschild family who created Israel worship Lucifer. They worship Satan. They don't worship Yahweh. They're not.
See? Oh, they worship Satan, not Yahweh, which implies there's nothing wrong with Yahweh. It's not Yahweh, the jealous God that wants to rule the world with his Messiah and the chosen people. That's not the conspiracy, which it is. No, it's the secret Khazarians that you could never prove that are secretly eating babies and worshiping Satan and have their own phallic, whatever all the bullshit they say. They have their own phallic religion and it's all secretly Khazar. Yeah, all these rabbis, they want you to believe these rabbis don't really believe the Torah and Talmud. No, that they close the synagogue doors and they're like, oh, now let's put on our robes and start worshiping the Khazar God. That doesn't happen.
Real Jews. Their real name is Bauer. They're using you. And you're making fools of yourself by going along with this insane plan. Hurry up and arrest those.
The insane plan is in the Bible. The plan they're following is in the Bible. It's not some Khazar fake Jew plan. It's the Bible. Bible, Talmud, Zohar plan.
Those criminals who have taken over leadership of your society. This is not a joke. There's enough evidence out there for everybody to know it's true. It's all over there. Anybody who has done...
All the evidence shows the opposite, actually. And Candace Owens, the leading voice of anti-Zionism, is now spouting the kookiest, fringiest, QAnon tier schizo conspiracies that only serve to actually run cover for Jews. That's what Candace is doing. Her Christian kosher it's the Christian stuff, it's the synagogue of Satan, it's the Frankists, it's the Khazars, anything but the Torah. I wish I could find. I should look for the clip of Candace saying she won't criticize Judaism. Here, I'm going to look for that right now.
This is not a joke. There's enough evidence out there for everybody to know it's true. It's all over there. Anybody who has done any research in the well-documented, thoroughly proven facts will know that a criminal gang has controlled your financial system for the past 300 years, and they are planning genocide, and they must be stopped.
Criminal bankers planning genocide, all of that's rooted in the Bible. That's not Khazar stuff. He goes, oh, you're God-fearing and you worship Yahweh, but no, they're actually bad. No, it's actually the God-fears worshiping Yahweh that would get the money lending and the ruling the world. Here's Candace saying she'll never condemn the Torah.
Trick.
This is why it's controlled opposition. You're not opposing Zionism and Judaism and Yahwehism and Moshiachism if you worship all of those.
Now, I am a Christian. So for me to make that statement that Judaism is a pedophile-centric religion would mean that I believe the Torah condones pedophilia. And of course, that cannot be the case because I am a Christian. And so those first books in my Bible are relevant. But of course, they knew I didn't say that. The point is that they had the audacity to lie, and then they... Now, I am a Christian. So for me to make that statement that Judaism is a pedophile-centric religion would mean that I believe the Torah condones pedophilia. And of course, that cannot be the case because I am a Christian. And so those first books in my Bible are relevant. But of course, they knew I didn't say that. The point is that...
See, she's a Christian, so she cannot condemn Judaism because she believes the Torah is in her Christian Bible. This is why it's limited hangout, partial, superficial opposition to Judaism, what Candace is doing. And now we see the Khazar distraction being pumped with 20,000 likes. It's so kosher and subversive, guys. I'm telling you. And I'm not on a limb here. A lot of the leading anti-Semites of the past have also said this about the Khazar thing. I know David Duke and McDonald. What is McDonald's name? Kevin McDonald, is that it? Culture Critique, Kevin McDonald. He says it's nonsense as well.
Benjamin.
Now we got another TikTok mix. The Star of David and Satan.
When you see the rabbis giving the rabbinical blessing, just remember it's connected to the goat god. The Star of David is actually a hexagram, which was the original astronomical symbol for the planet Saturn. Saturn was always pictured in the ancient astronomical.
I don't believe that they didn't have telescopes. They could not see that symbol on Saturn. I wonder if this is even true.
When you see the rabbi.
By the way, this guy, Jordan Maxwell, he was part Jewish, and he was always trying to exonerate the Jews and say, oh, it's the Romans, it's the Babylonians, it's all of this stuff.
When you see the rabbis giving the rabbinical blessing, just remember it's connected to the goat god. The Star of David is actually a hexagram, which was the original astronomical symbol for the planet Saturn. Saturn was always pictured in the ancient astronomical text during the Middle Ages and the medieval times as a Star of David, six-pointed star, two triangles.
In the Middle Ages. In the Middle Ages.
Interposed. The Babylonians would draw a triangle on the ground and then draw an opposing triangle, making the six-pointed star or hexagram, then draw a circle around that hexagram. And
okay, look, we got another answer too here. The Greco-Roman Esoteric Association. So the symbol in Hellenistic astrology did represent Saturn. So it's not just early Jewish mysticism. The six-pointed figure could be linked to planetary magic, and Saturn had strong mystical associations with the Sabbath. Medieval Jewish grimoires. What is that? Like a burial thing? Or books? The Kabbalistic talisman used a hexagram specifically in Saturn seals. The Key of Solomon, a medieval magical text influenced by Jewish, Arabic, and Greco-Roman, contains a Saturn seal drawn as a hexagram or a shape. Indeed associated with Saturn, which was one of the biggest astrological bodies that they could see with the naked eye without telescopes. All right. Confirmed.
Medieval times as a Star of David, six-pointed star, two triangles interposed. The Babylonians would draw a triangle on the ground and then draw an opposing triangle, making the six-pointed
grimoires are demon catalogs
star or hexagram, then draw a circle around that hexagram and stand inside of it.
Did they know that Saturn was that they could see with the naked eye was the farthest away planet, the seventh planet?
Matrix and the Forbidden Knowledge
Is that
volumes.
what they're getting at?
1 to 5.
Saturn is Satan, David Icke.
happened and horned when the
I don't believe they could see the formation,
now,
though, on the pole.
The North Pole, the northern pole
time.
of Saturn, Islamic people, as I call it, could outside Earth wasn't there or was nothing. DNA sequences do contain a structured language, fundamental.
And if they were associating it with the Sabbath, then it's a Sabbath figure or a Sabbath symbol. It's still Jewish. It was still at some point incorporated with the Jews. Nobody claimed the Jews were the original ones to come up with that symbol. I mean, it's a very common symbol that people can come up with. Wasn't that symbol found all over the world too, pre-Jewish times also? Okay. I like this post. Got a lot of likes for See Through It All. Terminally online Christians accepting their religion comes from Judaism. Challenge impossible.
Of your own personal research to
the big viral video of Sam Hyde and Fuentes.
Your interview with Candace. I'm not going to like shit on Candace or something, but you were talking about stuff that's like, it would take fucking years to make a regular person understand the subtleties of the psyop and like language, like Judeo-Christian. It would take you 10 years of your own personal research to figure out what the fuck is going on when they do Judeo-Christian. So once you get it, it's like such an obvious like knife. You know what I mean? To subvert like.
Hexagram appeared in 1st century AD Europa synagogue. I mean, yeah. So does it represent Saturn or is it the Star of Remphan? The Star of Remphan is never described of what it looks like. Need More Amalek says the rings of Saturn were only discovered in 1610 by Galileo, and then confirmed in 1655. So the idea that they could see the symbol is likely nonsense. Exactly. I don't think they could see the symbol. Saturn was the farthest visible planet in antiquity that they could see with the naked eye. It was the 7th planet away. So that's why they associate it with the 7th day of the week and the Sabbath. They probably got the 7-day week and the Sabbath maybe because of that even.
Killed Christ. The name of your murderer and then your name to describe something that you that's a system of beliefs based on you. It's like, this is your system of beliefs. First, we're going to use the name of your murderer.
Yeah, it's like Judeo-Nazi. It's like a Hitler.
Yeah, You sound like a Judeo-Nazi right now, man. I don't like that. Your interview.
Why do these guys have such a difficult time of just acknowledging that Christianity comes from Judaism? That's what Judeo-Christian means. Means they share a common foundation, a common root. Christianity in the Bible is described as a shoot, an offshoot, a branch of Judaism. Jesus is the Davidic king, the Davidic Messiah. King David was the king of Judah. It's a Judeo religion. Jesus was Judean. Even if he was supposedly born in Galilee, comes from Nazareth, he's still of the seed of Judah. That's why he had to go to travel to Bethlehem. Can't be the Messiah if you're not the seed of Judah and Judean. These guys always want to misrepresent, like, we're not claiming that Christianity and Judaism are the same exact religion. We're saying they're related and what Christianity came from the other. And they act like they got, like, everybody knows this and acknowledges this. So you guys dragging your feet and trying to act like you're so outraged by this falls on deaf ears and just isn't a talking point that's going to get it done. You just come off as coping that you worship a Jewish religion.
10 years of your own personal research to figure out what the fuck is going on when they do Judeo-Christian. So once you get it, it's like such an obvious.
White_stag sent $10 on Rumble. The 7th point rests in the middle of the 6-pointed star. Hence, God rests in the 7th day, in the 7th heaven and age.
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you. The house astrologer has spoken. Thank you, Liam.
Dude, Judeo-Christian. So once you get it, it's like such an obvious like knife. You know what I mean? To subvert, like, they killed Christ. The name of your murderer and then your name.
They had to fulfill the Judeo prophecies, dude. How did I know that all of this is going to... Well, they killed him. They had to. You wouldn't be saved if it didn't happen. This is what all Christians know, and they don't care. It's God's plan. How did we know they're just going to look like kooks, like they killed Jesus? We didn't come from Judaism because they killed Jesus. You came from Judaism. All the first followers were Jewish. Just such cope. It's just such cope. Oh, I'm going to skip that. I like this. Another example of the British Christian revival in Britain. Christianity and Jesus is going to save the white man in Britain. Let's check in on their so-called based Jesus revival here. God Save Britain from yesterday. There's Big Ben. Let's see all these based white Christians here. There's the Lion of the tribe of Judah, because there's no such thing as Judeo-Christian. Wow, is there even a white person in the crowd? Is this England or Zimbabwe? We got an Indian. We got Myron Gaines leading the song leader over there, shilling Rabbi Jesus. Myron Gaines over in England, shilling Rabbi Jesus. This is how we win. Wow. This looks like a African breadline or something. Wow. Christianity's going to save England? A multicultural alliance singing songs of praise to the King of the Jews. This is how we win. This is the solution, guys. Hey, if you're against this, you're anti-white. Right, Amalek?
Lord, we thank you that the Bible says that your name is above every other name.
Spiritual awakening.
Jesus, every knee must bow.
Every knee will bow to the King of the Jews, to Yeshua HaMashiach, Rabbi Jesus. Every knee will bow.
Jesus, every knee must bow, and every tongue must confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. And we thank you that the Bible says some trust in horses, some trust in chariots, but we...
See through it all says he got called an Indian all day because you exposed this clip. Meanwhile, the Indian's up there with the microphone. Amen. Amen. There's your Christian revival. Dude, it's so crazy. We could show all this evidence, clip after clip like this. We could show you the Catholic Catechism, and then these Catholics online will say, no, you're anti-white. You're exposing Rabbi Jesus. You're anti-white. The Catholic Church is the only thing that can save Europe and America and white people. That's what they tell us from these spurgs. Need More Amalek says, imagine telling me I'm anti-white because I attack Christianity when this is what your religion's so-called based revival looks like. BTFO'd. Game over. Full. Yo, let's get some power chats going awful slow. I know it's Monday. We're going 2 hours in. We got a long way to meet the goal. Sorry, I guess I have to complain and pitch it every time. $5 here, $10 there. A few more of you chip in. If you like the show, you value the content, you want to help me keep doing it, need your support. Here's the full CNN segment on Doug Wilson's crusade for Christian domination in the age of Trump.
Christchurch senior pastor Doug Wilson makes no apologies for his beliefs on God and country.
I'd like to see the town be a Christian town. I'd like to see the state be a Christian state. I'd like to see the nation be a Christian nation. I'd like to see the world be a Christian world.
And now Wilson's controversial views as a Christian nationalist are gaining sway in the nation's center of power with the recent opening of his new church and high-profile parishioners like Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Is planting a church in D.C. part of your mission to try to turn this into a Christian nation?
Yes. So every society is theocratic. The only question is who's theo. In a secular democracy, it would be demos, the people. In a Christian republic, it'd be Christ.
Well, what would you say to someone watching this to say, look, I'm a Muslim. Who are you to say your worldview is better than mine, that your God is better than mine?
Well, if I went to Saudi Arabia, I would fully expect to live under their God's rules.
But you said earlier that you want this to be a Christian world.
Yes.
So you want to supplant their religion with your Christian.
Yes, by peaceful means, by sharing the gospel. There's a lot of work yet to do. I believe that we are working our little corner of the vineyard.
Wilson's Little Corner, a picturesque campus nestled on the outskirts of downtown Moscow, Idaho, is growing by the day with thousands of like-minded Christians. Parishioners of his church.
White_stag sent $10 on Rumble, helping to feed the Viking princesses with what I can.
The Viking princess has dance classes, guys.
Known as Kirkers, own and operate several businesses downtown next to liberal college town stores.
If it's true.
Why did he yell boo? Because of me. Because of you.
Dixon Uranus 87 sent $5 on Rumble.
It's true.
I sent you a message on it's a link to an audiobook about Judaism using Christianity to subvert Rome. Lots of historical facts.
Cool. Link to an audiobook. I'm a little sketchy about clicking links, Dixon. So I hope I'll have to check what it's a link to, but I'll check it out, and that sounds very interesting. If it's that good, and maybe I'll just buy the book too. Sounds like a good one. Can you tell us in the chat what it's called? Just in case I missed the email or something or forget. What's the title of the book?
There you go.
That's a regular day for you.
That's not unusual.
Yeah, get it to Need More Amalek. He has a way of posting books like that, audiobooks like that, to Twitter.
The big focus of his Christian movement is on a patriarchal society where men are dominant and women are expected to submit to their husbands.
Women are the
Swindlers List 109 sent $5 on Rumble. Non-whites love Christianity because it helps them get their foot in the door of European countries. It allows them to get in closer proximity to white people and free handouts.
That it does. Dixon says it's Judea contra Rome, Rome contra Judea. I hypocrite clicked on a random link and got hacked real bad. Uh-oh. Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't click. It's on YouTube. Okay, great. It's a YouTube link. Awesome. Did you hear that, Need More Amalek? Are you still there? He says send it to me. This is the name of it. I'll forward you the YouTube link also. We definitely want to check that out. That was How Did the Judaism Using Christianity to Subvert Rome? Sounds amazing. Cabbage Bandit, thank you.
Cabbage Bandit sent $25 on Rumble. Didn't think I was going to get my green pill today, Adam. Thanks for the show.
I'm always here on Mondays. You got to take your green pill 7 days a week, or 5 days a week, actually. Take the green pill at least 5 days a week and not on an empty stomach.
kind of people that people come out of.
So you just think they're meant to have babies? That's it. They're just a vessel.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically. The wife and mother, who is the chief executive of the home, is entrusted with 3 or 4 or 5 eternal souls.
I'm here
Ratchet sent $20.
Thank you, Ratchet. Thank you. See, all I gotta do is complain a little bit. I wish we could just skip that and you guys just support without me having to kvetch at all. That would be nice.
Journalist, and I'm a mom of 3.
Good for you.
Is that an issue for you?
No, it's not automatically an issue.
Josh and Amy Prince, along with their 4 kids, moved here from Washington State.
Do you see Amy as your equal?
Yes and no, in the sense that we're both saved by grace. We're absolutely on equal footing, but we have very different purposes.
Henry Thelian sent $5 on Rumble. Mackey's Freemasonic Encyclopedia 1873, Hexagram, see magic square. Magic square. A magic square is a series of numbers arranged in an equal number. Hermetic philosophers call these magic squares the...
Interesting. Seems a little late, though, that it might not be what it originally was, if it's in the 1800s.
God-given.
But do you see yourself as the head of the household, as the man?
He is the head of our household. Yes, and I do submit to him.
So like moving here
I was just going to say that.
ultimately your decision.
Yes.
That's a great
example.
Wilson says in his vision of a Christian society, women as individuals shouldn't be able to vote. His fellow pastors Jared Longshore and Toby Sumter agree.
In my ideal society, we would vote as households. And I would ordinarily be the one that would cast the vote, but I would cast the vote having discussed it with my household.
Henrathelian sent $5 on Rumble. Continued, the tables of planets.
The tables of planets. Okay. Oh, they called the magic squares the tables of planets, right? I mean, it makes perfect sense that early religions are
Big
going to
Mama
be based
14
on the
sent
stars.
$50 on Rumble. Really enjoyed the space you participated in with Big Tech, Amalek and Gnostic. Big brains. Thankful for you guys.
Yeah, it was some big brain stuff. That's a good, productive talk.
Watch the Collapse podcast sent $10 on Rumble. Hi all my brothers and sisters, folk near and afar. Unplugging people from the Abrahamic Matrix every day. Love you bro, love ya chat.
Thank you, WTC. Thank you very much. Did I miss the other one too?
Three Bleffin sent $5 at this point. If you're shilling for Jesus, you're probably brown or have brown family.
Chances are, it's highly likely, given the statistics these days. Big Mama, we had a really good space. Big Tech held a space. I didn't even know it was going to happen. That's why the show started later today. Neil from Gnostic Informant was in there as well, and Amalek. We were talking Caesar's Messiah and talking that theory that the Romans created it versus its Jewish provenance, that it's a Jewish psyop. And I think having that conversation is good. It shows the contrast between the two, and I think it just strengthens what we're saying and showing that our analysis actually fits the facts a lot better.
Wife doesn't want to vote for the same person as you.
Right. Well, then that's a great opportunity for a good discussion.
There are some who have gone so far as to say that they want the 19th Amendment repealed.
I would support that. And I'd support it on the basis that the atomization that comes with our current system is not good for humans.
And Wilson, a veteran himself, is unapologetic about his view that women shouldn't be in certain leadership or combat roles.
Do we really think this is ever going to happen? Like, of all the issues in the world, this is what they want to harp on, saying women can't vote? Is that really realistically going to ever happen? You think the churches would fight back against that so much that these guys are never going to be but a fringe minority?
Trevkis sent $5 on Rumble. Dude, I think the theory is that there are ancient societies that had advanced technology. The elites retain this old knowledge/technology and lord it over the rest of us.
I don't think so.
EHA88 sent $20. Been watching off and on since 2015. I owe you a lot more than this. Maybe one day I'll be able to afford more.
Thank you, EHA. It's a long time to be listening for a first-time dono, but I'll take it. I appreciate it. It means a lot.
EHA88 sent $20. Been watching off and on since 2015. I owe you a lot more than this. Maybe one day I'll be able to afford more.
Double donate? Well, I guess I got a little bit more. We'll see. Thank you. You guys are awesome. And we smashed the goal just like that. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
Looking at the leadership page for
no Mrs. No More News. We'll go to
Schaefer Nee sent $5 on Rumble. Love the content.
Thank you. Me too. Best show on earth, but I'm biased. It's all my favorite stuff.
Christ Church, it's all men. Do you accept women in leadership roles in the church and government?
In the church, no.
Why?
Because the Bible says not to.
Well, that's not what happens in the Bible. Women do lead all the time.
Progressive faith leader Reverend Jennifer Butler is concerned about Wilson's growing influence.
He is rapidly gaining in power. He has hundreds of churches established around the country. They actually literally want to take over towns and cities. And they have access to...
Is he a big Zionist too? This guy's a big Zionist, right? Doug Wilson? Big Israel supporter, big Netanyahu shill. It's, if memory serves correct.
This administration.
Wilson is part of a broader Christian nationalist movement making inroads with the Trump administration, with a newly created
Beowulf 914 sent $5 on Rumble. Don't underestimate these people. They have a 300-year plan to get their goal.
Oh, these 19th Amendment people, they're not going to get that. They're only going to serve as the boogeyman and the threat.
Office led by evangelical pastor Paula White Cain, and people seen right outside the White House entrance praying and speaking in tongues.
We are standing on the soil of the White House, and we are declaring your word.
How precious!
And now there's a monthly
Have a Jewish God!
That's them. That's them out in front of the White House.
Entrance praying and speaking in tongues.
We are standing on the soil of the White House, and we are declaring your word.
How precious!
And now there's a monthly prayer service at the Pentagon, initiated by Hegseth, Wilson's highest level connection to the administration.
It's not organizationally tied to us, but it's the kind of thing we love to see.
For his part, Hegseth has publicly praised Wilson.
Now we're standing on the shoulders of a generation later. The Doug Wilsons and the others.
Wilson's
well, you know he's Zionist now. You know he's a Zionist now.
Influence spans the globe with more than 150 churches. Lennox Califungwa moved to Moscow from Africa.
It's really because I wanted to be a part of a community that was doing something, and especially in building Christian institutions.
Are there other black families in this community?
Oh, absolutely. There's a few black families.
Wilson maintains all are welcome to his church, but he's also not shying away from his past controversial statements on race.
Do you still believe what you said back in the 90s, that there's a mutual affection between master and slave?
Yes, it depends on which master and which slave you're talking about. Slavery.
He has 116,000 subscribers.
Was overseen and conducted by fallen human beings, and there were horrendous abuses, and there were also people who owned slaves who were decent human beings and didn't mistreat them. I think that system of chattel slavery was an unbiblical system, and I'm grateful it's gone.
What he also wants gone? Same-sex marriage, because he thinks homosexuality is a crime.
In the late 70s and early 80s, sodomy was a felony in all 50 states. That America of that day was not a totalitarian hellhole.
So you would like America to go back to that?
Yep.
Dude, CNN's not doing a very good job of making this guy look like a big threat. It's like, okay, he wants gender roles and is a Christian that's anti-LGBTQ. Isn't that like normal? You think they're really making people get scared about this?
Wilson maintains his ultimate goal is to bring about the second coming of Christ through his work, and rejects critics' claims he's trying to make the dystopian world of The Handmaid's Tale a reality.
I'm not a white nationalist. I'm not a fascist. I'm not a racist. I'm not a misogynist.
How far off do you see a Christian nation, like a full-on Christian theocracy?
Oh, 250 years.
250 years.
Yeah, honestly, that's yes.
What you see. But you do think it will happen?
Yes, I do. We're not going to usher in anything ourselves. We're really genuinely pioneers.
Shilling the Bible does not make you a pioneer. It makes you a Shabbos Goy, useful idiot.
The atomization that comes.
Okay, that's the clip that we already saw. Look at this. This was an interesting graphic that Need More Amalek shared with me. The E-Crusaders frequently complain that white demographics do not support an anti-Abrahamic view, but they are completely mistaken. These trends will persist as their churches grow smaller and more brown. Their strategy is non-viable, not ours. Look at these demographics now. Gen Z whites is like 2/3 not Christian. Millennials, it was about half not Christian. Gen X, you could see the trajectory here, where we're going.
Friedwaffen sent $5, dang, poor of them. Always has to beg us to donate. Definitely need to support our folk more, especially when they make such critical content. We gotta keep him and people like Amalek Ezeric, Vidya Flow.
Thank you, 3D. Yeah, that would be nice. Would be nice if I never had to kvetch at all or worry about that. But you guys are always there. You're awesome. Mean the world to me. So look at these demographics. Gen Z. And people tell me all the time, Adam, you're wasting your time. It's futile. You're not going to convince 2 billion people not to be Christians. Okay, I'm not trying to reach every single person, especially the silent and the boomers that are way more Christian than the youth today. And I was out on the streets hitting the sidewalk, hitting the boardwalk at the beach, and there were a lot of young people out there, and a lot of them are seeing through it. So the demographics and the trajectory, and a lot of people, the decline of Christianity overall. If we have less Christians in America, Israel has less religious supporters, period. And they know that. They're worried about the younger generations, the TikTok generations, not being supporters of Israel. Okay, anyway. So it's not that hard of a sell to say Jesus is fake and Jewish, especially with young people. They get it. They grew up with the internet. In fact, just explaining the Jesus deception to people that aren't religious, they go, yeah, it makes sense. I can see that. I kind of already thought that on my own. No, we want to keep everybody locked into the Judeo mind virus. We don't want to free ourselves from the Abrahamic paradigm. Jesus is our only solution. That's what the detractors will say. And then we got so-called based Christians like this guy, Joel Webbin. Let's hear his take on the issues.
Race is not an... Okay, so race realism.
Here's your most based internet Christian. Go.
Okay, so race realism. Explicitly publicly Christian, unapologetically patriarchal, male-led, race realism, not essentialism, Christian. It's not race is not enough, but it does matter. Christian first, but race also, and then lastly,
Jesus first, always Jesus first. There's these schizo spurgs fantasizing about offing us for Jesus, like good little Noahide executioners, like the rabbis want to take us out for Moshiach, some Moshiach firsters.
Anti-Zionism. It cannot be Judeo-Christian nationalism. It can't.
Well, that's what you're going to get. That's what you got. That's what you got, and that's what you're going to get. And you're never going to argue and win the argument that it's not Judeo. Good luck.
Must be Christian nationalism. Okay, so race realism, explicitly publicly Christian.
Christian, but race also. He'll be condemned by everybody just for that one alone. All right. We're coming up on 2.5 hours. I think I'm going to save this for the next show. We got inspiring philosophy, running damage control for Jesus mythicism. We got some bullshit Christians claiming that there's better evidence for Jesus resurrecting than evolution. We'll get into that. We'll get into the Shroud of Turin being shilled on Tucker Carlson. So, Nick's exposing Tucker Carlson. Nick's exposing Charlie Kirk. Well, they all promote Jesus. They all promote the King of the Jews at the end of the day. Nick promotes Shroud of Turin. Tucker Carlson
Last
promotes
Goy
Shroud of Turin.
Standing sent $10 on Rumble. Catching the stream late. We'll watch back when it's uploaded. Check out the mini documentary that was put on for Arville's all-white community in Arkansas. It's so biased to demonize white sits on.
I didn't see a full documentary. I saw some clips of it, though. I'll have to check that out if you can do the link in there. So they're all showing the Shroud of Turin, the fake forged bullshit Shroud of Turin. We'll get into that tomorrow as well. And MTG, and you know what? We could finish this part today. No, we'll save it for tomorrow, actually. We'll save it for tomorrow, all of this. Appreciate you all. You are all amazing. We nailed the goal today. Where's our thank you?
Yes! That's awesome!
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
You guys.
Thank you!
All right. Alrighty then.
Give us a like, subscribe. We're about to hit 10,000 on Rumble. Finally, it's growing so slow on Rumble, on the Jesus Echo Chamber on Rumble. NoMoreNews.org. I think there's a couple of T-shirts left. I'm not sure. They might all be gone now. So go check it out before it's too late. I'm working on some new designs. I'll be back tomorrow with another show. I'm going to be working on the edit of the Man on the Street interviews I did yesterday. That should be out soon. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. What else am I forgetting? I don't think I have any interviews or guests lined up as of yet, but I'll work on that also. Appreciate everybody that's been clipping the show, sharing the clips. That's the best thing. Shout out to Conspiracy Truther. I want to talk to you on the phone before you go in for your big heart surgery, man. We're really all thinking about you, rooting for you, Conspiracy Truther, if you're watching. And I love you all. I will see you guys again very soon tomorrow. Have a nice night and take care. We're on mute. Sorry. Yeah, if you believe that, you were retarded. Yes. Let's see. Can we play that again? That was a funny one. Jersey Thor, thank you.
Jersey Thor sent $20. Jewish mysticism and pro-white Christian copes had me convinced that Jesus was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Aryan Chad and that Adam Green was a slimy dysgenic Jew for attacking him. Am I retarded?
If you believed it. No, they're retarded. And you didn't believe it, obviously. No, that's their retarded copes. And everybody sees it exactly what it is. Okay, thank you guys. Back to the outro. Bing, bing, boom.